Hello and welcome back, and thanks so much for checking out another video. I'm Justin the Realtor, and today I want to talk a little bit about agency and the relationship between you as the buyer or seller, my client, and me as a realtor, and what that relationship looks like between you and I, but also between me and other realtors and the other people in this transaction. So when you allow me to represent you as your realtor, you are signing me on as your buyer's agent. And a buyer's agent has a set of rules that I am going to adhere to. And while we will sign a contract, even before we sign that contract, I'm going to still adhere to all of those things because I don't need a piece of paper to tell me to treat you right. I just don't. So, and if you find a realtor that does, that's when you should question their intentions. So the contract says that I, as your realtor, am going to treat you with honesty and transparency, and I'm going to treat you as if I was buying the house. And I'm going to hold everything you tell me in the strictest of confidence. And if you come to me and you have a pre-approval for $200,000, but we find the perfect house and it's $175,000, I'm not going to tell the seller, hey, this guy can afford to pay more just so my commission goes up. I don't care. The difference in my commission between $175,000 and $200,000 is never going to be enough to sacrifice treating you the way you deserve to be treated. So don't ever worry about that, okay? Don't worry about the commission. Don't worry about, no. I am going to treat you right because it is the right thing to do. Remember, I do business with my heart first and my wallet second, okay? Don't want to worry about that. But the relationship goes both ways. So as my client, you are going to make sure that the seller pays my commission. Right? That is a responsibility of the buyer. That is not an expense of the buyer, but it is the responsibility of you as the buyer. And also, I am yours and you are mine. You're not going to go off with Joe Schmo Realtor from down the street just because he said he'll give you a $100 Amazon gift card or whatever the hell gimmick people are doing right now. So there are some responsibilities there. But my relationship to you as a buyer's agent is different than what my relationship to the seller is, what my relationship to the seller's agent is. So I'm going to be enunciating the ending of some words, and I want you to really pay attention because these are super key, right? So there is a buyer's agent and there is a seller's agent, okay? But then there is something called the selling agent, okay? That ing, that selling. I am most likely going to be the selling agent on any house that we buy, on any house that gets bought. The buyer's agent, between you and I am your buyer's agent. But my relationship to that house is that I'm the selling agent because I'm the one who sold it. I found the buyer for the home. The seller's agent, their relationship to the house is listing agent. They are marketing the house. They are making the house available for sale. But unless they find a buyer, they haven't sold it. They've just put it up in the window. It's that pretty dress that you walk by on the street and it has never left the mannequin. It makes no difference. I can market anything I want. It doesn't mean I'm selling it. So whoever finds the buyer is the selling agent. Sometimes that is the seller's agent, but most of the time it's a different agent. It's the buyer's agent. Okay, so there's a lot of different terms that get thrown around, and there's a lot of responsibilities, and there's a lot of contracts, And oftentimes, especially with my first-time buyers, I'm going to send you blank copies of the contracts so that you can look at them before we're making them for real, before we're signing them for real. Before we make an offer on a house, you've already seen a blank purchase agreement so that you understand all of these little elements, okay? And I want you to know that I'm not writing these contracts. I am just the guy who gets to fill in the blanks. But the people who do write these contracts, that's all they do. So when my office last year did $9 billion, billion with a B, in sales, we did it with these contracts. You can trust them. And if you have a question, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer any questions about the contracts that you have. Just recognize that I don't have any real influence over what the contract says. I can only bring you the explanations that I have. And maybe we can change some things. But for the most part, these contracts are there to protect you. They're there to protect your investment. This is a big investment. I want as much paperwork behind it as I can. And this isn't the small print terms and agreements that no one ever reads. How many boxes have you checked in your life just this month in terms and agreements and contracts that you've never read? But this, you want to make sure that you really read and understand. And that's what I'm here to do. So I wanted to bring that to a video. I wanted to make sure that I could express that in a video so that people can see and understand what it means for those different relationships and those different terms that get written and thrown around. So you have a buyer's agent, you have a seller's agent, you have a listing agent, you have a selling agent, you have all of these different types of titles, and one person can hold most of them in the same transaction. So understand that there are some differences, and if you have a question, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Read through the contracts, understand what you're signing, and then everything will go smoothly. Alright, if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure you check out my website, justintherealtor.com. Super easy to remember, because I'm the one. Alright, have a good night.